So our boat is a Pearson 424. It's a 1979 model. It's a 42 foot. It was a sloop, and we did some re-rigging, so now she's a cutter. We bought her back in December, and through a very accelerated refit process, we're getting her ready for getting her ready for the trip that we're about to take. We redid the whole bottom. We painted the deck. We've rebedded almost everything that comes through the deck to stop the leaks, including the mast. That was one of the first things that you helped us with. And we pulled the motor. We replaced the fuel tank. I've replumbed most of it. We rebedded all the through hulls.
Secondary bilge pump.
Added an additional emergency bilge pump. Wow, the camera's going to be vibrating like crazy.
It's changed.
Yeah, there's a storm outside.
We're in the middle of probably 30 to 40 knot winds.
Tropical disturbance number 16.
Yeah, is blowing through at the moment. But replaced the fuel tank, repainted and cleaned the engine real carefully.
Yep.
And replaced all the batteries recently.
Yep.
But a lot of work, and that's not really mentioning any interior improvements. Oh, the project that I didn't mention that is ongoing and has probably been the most frustrating is building a new refrigeration system from scratch. And as we draw closer to our departure date, the pressure to get that finished before we leave is ramping up more and more.
If you ever have to rebuild your fridge,
Don't.
don't buy a cooler. So then your food just rots. That'll be pressure.
No,
or
if
something.
you ever have to rebuild your fridge, buy one of those ready-made units. There's no reasonable explanation that would make it worth doing all the work that we've done on this.
Maybe we'll
It
find the
just-
silver lining of it.
I really hope there is one, but it's been that has been a beast.
Yeah. So it was a coastal kind of cruiser. Pearsons are made for blue water, but the boat just was not ready with its
Yeah.
systems and everything else to take it.
She has the pedigree, but lacks the experience. We're adding a wind vane, for example, for self-steering. So a lot of improvements, a lot of which are still not finished. But the reason we're making all these improvements is that we have 18 months that we're going to take. We're now both free of our jobs, and we're about to start that 18 months sailing, and I'll let Sam tell you where we're going.
Well, the plan is to make it to the South Pacific. The reason being, one, Scott wanted to go to the South Pacific, but it's also some of the most kind of remote sailing, and everybody we talk to, they say, go now, go while you're young. And so kind of like, say, backpacking, people are like, I'll go to Europe when I'm old. Well, we'll go to the Caribbean when we're old. That's the rationale. So we'd like to make it to the South Pacific. If we don't, that's okay. So we would like to, weather and plans permitting, go, camera's shaking, go straight to the Bahamas, spend a bit of time in the Bahamas, and then from the Bahamas to Panama. And hopefully kind of beat the Christmas winds through the Caribbean. We're going to do that. And if this is a real stretch, if we can get on the list through the canal before January 1st, and the fees double, that would be fantastic. We'll see about that. And then
Easy way to save $800.
right. And then after that, we'll probably have some time if we can get through the canal. Probably won't depart Panama until about March. We'll have some time to be in Panama and then hop over to the Marquesas and then hop our way across. And ultimately, we'd like to end up in Indonesia. But, that's
a
8,000 miles of travel that you can change a lot of angles on. So.
Indonesia is the furthest that we could possibly make it, assuming no major delays and no place that we like enough to want to extend our stay there.
Yeah.
We're trying, I mean, they say 18 months is the bare minimum you could do a circumnavigation in, but that's basically stopping nowhere. That's skipping everything, and neither one of us wants to do that. We both fault ourselves for planning every vacation we've ever had together with way too much to do. And I'm really hoping and trying to make sure that we don't do the same thing on this. And even still, what we have is ambitious for 18 months.
Yep.
But we'll see. I want to explore cool places. And then plan A, when we get there, because there are jobs to come home to, plan A would be just sell the boat and fly home. And then, depending on the circumstances, sort of when we get to the end of our 18 months, we may make a decision to keep the boat there, or shipping the boat home is one thing we've discussed, but that's a very expensive option. Finding a way for me to get crew and sail it back to the U.S. or to a place that we could keep it. All of those are things that we may, yeah, I think Gordon's bringing me a jar of clam chowder.
Oh.
I'll be right back. Gordon, that you? Hey, man. Morning. Yeah. Oh, it seems like the rain's left a bit.
That's awesome.
So, you said you're going to try to go through the canal before January 1st.
That is a complete, just a high level stretch.
Yeah, you're
if
hoping
it happens,
to.
it happens.
Yeah.
We're hoping, but we budgeted for the extra.
Yeah.
The
But
extra
then
cost.
You said you're going to stay in Panama for another 2 or 3 months?
I don't think we're going to jump off until about, we may, if we feel comfortable, maybe leaving in February, but leaving in March, just so we're really clear of the tail end of storm season in the South Pacific. Particularly now, I'm on my toes with, the Pacific's been really warm this year.
Yeah.
Really warm. And so we may be facing that again.
Yeah.
Just don't know. Extend seasons and things happen in a strange way. So
Yeah.
That's the goal.
What are you going to do while you're hanging out on the west coast over there?
We'll definitely
Southwest.
go to the Pearl Islands, and then we may head a bit north. I need to do some more research about the Papagayos in that season, because I know the wind basically it's a mountain-driven wind that just comes screaming out into the ocean. It goes for a long way. We got chowder.
We got a jar of clam chowder courtesy of Gordon, who made that last night.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
His dog was running around off leash and just tearing down the dock, and got to the end of the T-dock and slid almost completely off the end of the dock because the dock is so wet.
Oh, that would have been hilarious to see.
Is there a place that you're most looking forward to going?
That's on Scott.
I really want to see Vanuatu.
Yeah.
There's a lot of super amazing cultural things that I've read and seen from there.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the island, but there's one place where they have this tradition of land diving.
Yeah.
Pentecost
Island, that's it. And I think it would be phenomenal to see that.
Yeah.
It's like a coming of age ceremony. Then there's still a lot of amazing cultural stuff in like Papua New Guinea that I'd love to see. Diving wise, I can't wait to get to sort of Papua New Guinea area and some parts of Indonesia to have some of the reef that's the healthiest globally and most biodiverse. It seems like they're always discovering new species there. I don't know, just the whole thing. All of those crazy rock formations of volcanic mid-Pacific islands, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then both of you are coming back to jobs?
Both of us have actually really supportive companies. I would think
Just lucky.
that, but also I think it's rare for people to make an ask like that. We said 3 to 4 years before we left, like, we're planning on doing this. What do you think? And both companies were like, sure. And then we just continued to check in, and it got closer and closer, nearer and nearer, and they continued to say yes. And so I don't. I wonder how much of that is just ask, and you'll see what where that conversation leads. The answer may surprise you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah. But then on top of that, both of our companies have been very supportive. The partners of my company have just been like, yeah, sure, go for it, great. And
It was a nerve-wracking thing to do the ask, because we were both pretty confident that our companies weren't going to say, "Oh, you mean you're leaving that soon? Well, see ya." That we were confident that they weren't going to see that as a sign that we weren't in it for the long haul and get rid of us. But because we were confident of that, we had a unique opportunity to be the best sports, I guess we could be, to our companies, and we were giving them enough heads up that they could get people to fill our shoes and help train those people up, and also plan for our departure so that we didn't leave them in the lurch, and they really appreciated that.
Yeah.
yeah, that was important.
Moving out of the house was a lot harder than I expected it would be.
Yeah.
And she did all the work on that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Just-
say, what was hard for you on that?
Like, do
Just-
you mean emotionally, or like the
I
act of
think there was-
packing everything up, deciding what to take, and then getting out on time?
Packing everything up, deciding what to take more than packing everything up, because Sam did all the packing everything up. But I think the hard part was probably more emotional, realizing that your friends are treating it like you're dying, or that you're moving away permanently. So in a sense, it was kind of cool to see. You get a unique window into how people feel about you, and there's some emotional goodbyes, as though you are not coming back, but you realize you're only being gone 18 months with every plan to come back. So
I think Scott comes from a very rooted place. I moved a ton.
Yeah.
I have leaving the house was like, man, it looks the same as it did when we moved in. I had fairly ambivalent feelings about the property. I like my neighbors a ton. They're great. And the same thing with our friends is like, we'll be back. It's fine. I don't know. I didn't have as much emotional overhead. I had a surprising amount with my job because I just spent so much time with these people. And there was a real, when you're part of a team working towards achieving something as opposed to just hanging out, there's a different dynamic. And then I think choosing what to take, especially with our plan of selling the boat at the end as a plan A, is that none of this is coming back. If you're okay losing it right now, either it's coming right now, or we were lucky enough to have places to put our things, and that needs to stay. So I had all my books, I had my whole stack of books, and all my friends were coming with me, all my book friends. And then I realized, you guys will all be gone or given away because I can't I'm not going to pay to ship them back, and they're not going to fit in my carry-on. So
What has been your family's response to y'all?
my
Buying a
family's
boat
been
and leaving?
super supportive.
Yeah.
My dad is very jealous. I think if my mom didn't get seasick, then the two of them, she likes the lifestyle, I think. It's just how seasick she gets. It ruins her for days. So, he's super jealous. She worries all the time about our safety. That's what she does. She's a pro.
Moms are good at that.
yeah.
But no, even with that, she's done a lot to try and temper her own worries.
Yeah.
They've been very generous, especially helping us, like chipping in for the safety gear that's needed for the boat.
She's channeled her
Yeah,
anxiety through that.
she's channeled it to her checkbook, which was amazing. But no, very supportive from my family.
Yeah, she's shown actually pretty extraordinary grace, because you can tell she's very worried and nervous and all of that, but has been like, okay, I'm going to put that to the side. And she said, if you guys don't go through that canal and you just want to stay in the Caribbean, that's okay. But there hasn't been the put your foot down, you're not going.
Right.
Of the gamut of reactions there could be. I think she's done a really good job keeping that together.
I would agree.
So yeah, no, it's been good.
All right. So Scott went on deck.
Yes.
We heard a noise. He's checking it out. And how did your family? What did you ask? How did your family
Oh,
react?
how did your family respond?
We had lunch with them, and they said, okay, cool. And my mom said, what will you eat? I said, food like normal people. And, you know, you take an RV and you make it float and you imagine what that life's like. And when I was first started dating Scott, I think he took me climbing. So my parents were like, well, don't kill her. And that was pretty much it. They're like, well, don't kill her this time. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how they're handling it totally, but they put on a brave face for us. So
Yeah.
it was good. Yeah, no familial, I guess, naysayers about what we're getting. We really haven't had anybody be like, you shouldn't do this, don't go.
But part of the reason why our whole trip is happening when it is, you know, we shortened our 5-year plan to a 3-year plan because Sam wants another dog really bad, and was saying, look, if you're making me wait to get another dog because of your trip, you better make your trip happen a lot sooner. So we're making it happen a lot sooner.
Yep.
And
That's cool.
it kept things practical.
But
I
it's,
think.
Yeah.
I think on the larger topic of having a deadline, it has been, having a deadline has motivated us and gotten us to do things that we never thought we'd be able to do.
Absolutely.
And just, don't let perfect in the way of good enough is really important. I mean, don't shirk safety. Safety's always going to come first, but we just, somehow we've pulled it off. I think it's really about setting a time frame, figuring kind of out how you're going to do it, and then be like, we're just going to make it happen
Yeah.
at a certain point.
And we've had so much help.
But so
much help. So many people have given us so much time and support and love and stuff, even.
Advice.
Advice. But, when you put out there, when you set a tight deadline like that and you say it out loud, makes it real to yourself, but the people around you that want you to succeed are going to help you make that deadline. There was a point recently when a couple of things fell in line, towards the last minute, and I was like, Sam, I think we're over the hump. The world is conspiring to make this happen for us now. And that look says she doesn't believe that, but but no, I mean, there are so many.
Scott doesn't name it, but he's you live abundance theory. He believes it's out there. He believes the answer is there, and the world will provide. And
That's great.
it just is what it is. I mean, it's just he it's not just that he thinks it's going to be there. It is absolutely out there.
I drink my own Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
but we balance each other pretty well.
I think so. Let's see. You can follow us at. Read it.
Sailing Fruit Bat on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, you can do instagram.com/sailingfruitbat, or our blog, which is now live, sailingfruitbat.home.blog.